Matt here. I'm just going to take a little bit of time today to read this article which was posted in the Minneapolis Star-Tribune. The title is University of Minnesota Raises Bar for Revealing Suspects' Race and Crime Alerts. Move comes in wake of student-led protests on the issue. Photo with the caption, Whose Diversity Organizer Tori Hong led a group of protesters demanding access to Morrill Hall earlier this month. Article reads, University of Minnesota police will stop sending out what they consider vague descriptions of suspects in campus crime alerts after criticism that authorities sometimes release racial descriptions and little other concrete information. From now on, the campus-wide bulletins triggered by serious crimes such as robbery and aggravated assault will only include the suspect's description when there is sufficient detail that would help identify a specific individual or group, U Vice President Pamela Wheelock said Wednesday in an email to students, faculty, and staff. The announcement came after a series of student-led protests on the issue and marks a significant step for a campus dealing with tension over the racial climate on campus, an issue that has reverberated at colleges and universities across the country in recent months. Alright, I think that this is absolutely stupid. That's my opinion. I think that any amount of description for a suspect is going to narrow it down somewhat. Therefore, it is a good thing to have a description. If the suspect description is Asian, it still narrows it down. If the student body say is 8% Asian, it still narrows it down to that 8%. If additionally he's male, then all of a sudden we've narrowed the crime down to 4%. I think that what's happening here realistically is there's a disproportionately high number of black offenders and black male offenders who are being profiled in that sense. Because if the description is 5'8" to 6 foot black male, well, just because a lot of the criminals may be black doesn't mean that every single black male is a criminal, and the ones that are not are going to be tied up in that and kind of targeted or profiled, I suppose I should say, because of this bulletin. Or these bulletins. So that's kind of the inherent problem here. You have non-criminal black males who are most likely going to get profiled due to at least somewhat by somebody, even if it be their fellow black students, because of these alerts. And but that's sort of the same thing can go for being young or being a male. It's if more crime in general is perpetrated by young males, naturally we are going to get caught up in that as well. So it's just unfortunate if you're part of a demographic that commits more crime, because it's not as if these crimes aren't being committed by members of these groups. I, as a male, am saying that men commit more crime. A male in the 18 to 34 range, as I am, and I'm telling you, men commit more crime. It just is what it is. So I just kind of have to accept that. I'll skip to some of the comments here. And I'm guaranteeing they're not going to be politically correct. I'm surprised comments are even open, but let's start reading them. Alright, Kaler really missed a teachable moment here. A person's hard-earned education dollars would be better spent elsewhere. If Kaler is indicative of the level of education you will receive attending the University of Minnesota. Assume a member of a minority committed the offense is the lesson taught unless information to the contrary is offered. Kumbaya, everybody. Meaning, yeah, let's just pretend politically correct things don't happen, right? Let's just bury our heads in the sand and sweep it under the rug, pretend it doesn't happen even when we all know it is, right? It's ridiculous. Let's just be truthful, all right? Is that so much to ask? Yeah, well, never mind. Rhetorical question. I know it's too much to ask. Another comment, LOL, no matter how many phony black hero movies you make, phony black heroes you name streets after, or black crimes you hide from the public, we still know what's going on, and you can bet the worm is soon to turn. And I guess, the truth is people aren't idiots. If there is a group, whatever it may be, that is committing a disproportionate amount of something, you can't hide that forever. I don't even know why you're bothering, because this may work, I guess, but if you read comments, I don't really think honestly, on the whole, I don't think it's working anymore. So, and that's what that comment alludes to. Next comment, what about gender profiling? Identifying suspects as male tends to reinforce stereotypes of men as threats and create a hostile campus climate. Well, there you have it. I mean, right? That's why even address that the criminal is a male. I didn't commit the crime, I'm a male. Should I be profiled in that sense? Next comment, congratulations to the self-appointed PC police of the University of Minnesota. You just gave every would-be iPad phone thief in the county an easy target. Better stock up on your pepper spray, kids. Next comment, will they be allowed to tell the police that the suspect is wearing a black hoodie, or would that be considered to be racist? And I'm sure that would be considered to be racist. The university president could nip most of these protests in the bud by simply making a policy that they will only listen to protests regarding academic issues. Everything else is off the table. Sure, for instance. Or they could just acknowledge that these people don't represent everybody. Next comment. So how long will it take for Metro police departments to have to use the University of Minnesota policy too? You know it's coming, which is true. And this was tried in New York, by the way. So, and by the way, there was a time in Canada where a group of, I think it was 20 black youths, I think mostly males, committed a crime, like a flash mob type crime, and they didn't release a racial description, really. Not, I mean, some did, but there were some news articles I read that definitely did not. The thing is about this that's ridiculous is that Halifax is such a small black population that it does narrow it down tremendously to give this information. So I think it's just putting people's safety at risk here by being this way. And let's go on. I'll just skip a few down. So the university should stop asking about age, race, and grade point averages on their applications if they don't matter anyway. Well, there you go. You can talk about race when it's politically correct, but when it's not, you can't. And this is just ridiculous. You can't have it both ways. If you want people to notice race, white people to notice race in order to feel guilty, for instance, don't expect us to not notice race when that's not involved, because you can't have it both ways. Either you stop talking about it, or if you want to talk about it, expect that people are not going to continue on with the type of dialogue that you want. Anyway, it's just by scrolling through here, I'm only reading politically incorrect comments. Here's one. Crime alert, a human broke into an apartment this morning. Please be on the lookout. Well, that's the type of stupidity that this will actually result in. Sacrificing safety of others to appease those offenders offended too easily and too often. Ridiculous. Another comment. It doesn't matter much. Anyone who can read knows that young black males commit a remarkably disproportionate amount of crime. Descriptions are not. The FBI statistics do align with that comment. It might not be necessarily politically correct to say that, but it is collected statistic. Anyway, I'll stop reading the comments there because it's pretty clear to me that these are all in line with with basically the racist comments. And so there you have it. People are not idiots. That's what I think. Any of your opinions, I would love to hear them. Please post them below. And once again, thank you for watching.